We've shared with you nearly a dozen marketing tidbits from a wide variety of topics so far on this podcast. From competitive analysis, artificial intelligence, to how to build a standout, bold brand. But what does it look like from the other side, from actual small business owners just like you? This week on The Obsessed Marketer, we present to you a brand new series, the Small Business Spotlight, highlighting businesses that we love that are worth sharing to you. Welcome back to The Obsessed Marketer, the podcast designed for you, the small business owner looking to jumpstart your business and learn quick marketing strategies that you can take with you to increase sales, reach, and growth. I'm Andrew Hayes, your host and social and digital media specialist here at Viral Solutions. Today, we're talking with Jessie and Kristin, managers at the Elsewhere Collection. They officially began in 2020, but the Elsewhere team have been curating and renovating vacation spaces since 2010, from places like Savannah, Georgia, right here in Oshkosh, Waupaca, Wisconsin, and many other places across the United States. Even owning a social club and venue just down the street as well. They recently just opened a new market and coffee shop under the same Elsewhere brand, calling it the Elsewhere Market and Coffee House. So let's talk to managers Jessie and Kristin about branding, hospitality, and growing the business on this first Small Business Spotlight. All right, we're here today with some very special guests from the Elsewhere Collection in Oshkosh. Welcome, Kristin and Jessie. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. So we're doing our first Small Business Spotlight today, and I think you guys just have an incredible brand, very good message that you bring across into the Oshkosh community, which is where we are here at Viral Solutions. So let's just open up and tell me about yourselves. What's going on?
Yeah, so I'm Jessie, the managing director at Elsewhere Coffee House and Market. I went to school at UW Oshkosh, originally from the Madison area, but graduated from UWO and just never left Oshkosh.
Glad to have a fellow Titan here.
And I'm Kristin. I am the managing director of the Gibson Social Club right next door to Elsewhere. I'm also involved in Elsewhere, do a lot of the marketing, help with a lot of the branding, things like that. I'm also a UWO graduate.
Let's go.
2012. And then, I've worked with the owners, Kristin and Eric Hoopman, since I was a sophomore in college. So been very involved in kind of their whole evolution of their business. So
nice. So for anyone out there, because I'm guessing, most of our audience is not in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, let's talk about what the Elsewhere Collection is. Can you guys kind of describe it for me?
For sure. So the Elsewhere Collection is a collection of luxury Airbnb property rentals throughout the country, as well as the newest establishments, which are the Gibson Social Club and the Elsewhere Market and Coffee House. So we, our owners, have had a line of luxury Airbnb rentals throughout Oshkosh, Waupaca, Savannah, Georgia, Tybee Island, Georgia, Great Barrington, Massachusetts is our most recent property, and we create a very specific aesthetic for people to stay and just kind of enjoy their time at a luxury Airbnb rental, which kind of morphed into them wanting to create a space here in Oshkosh where they are native to. So they just wanted to have a really pretty aesthetic and place for people to kind of escape a bit outside of what the norm of Oshkosh is or has available currently. There's some great places here in Oshkosh, but we wanted to do something a little bit different and offer a space for people to enjoy their time, have some coffee, pick up a gift if they needed, and just enjoy the building that we're in, which is a gorgeous historical building in downtown Oshkosh.
And it's gorgeous too. So the market and the coffee house just opened, right? So what kind of strategy went behind opening that when, you're going from Airbnb rentals to opening a coffee shop? What's the strategy behind that?
Yeah, so the Airbnb rentals that we have are specifically curated with a aesthetic to provide a relaxing and kind of gorgeous experience for people to get away. That's where things derive from. Our owner, Kristin Hoopman, has a really keen eye and design aesthetic. So she's done all of the interior design
for all of the properties.
Absolutely. And Kristin has had a really great hand in that as well. So because they own the building downtown Oshkosh, it made sense to have an actual retail store that had very similar aesthetic and offerings that our properties do. Kristin can probably talk a little bit more about where it derived from, too.
Yeah, so we really wanted a space that felt like when you go into it, you can kind of pick up little pieces from all of the properties, in one location. So if you're someone who's either visited one of the Airbnbs, you can find interior design aspects that look like you got something from our rustic cabin in Wapaka, or you went to a really beautiful space in Savannah, Georgia that's on a really cool square, and you got something that felt a little bit more like historic Savannah, and just to have bits and pieces of that felt like you have a little bit of elsewhere.
Take it with you.
Home. Yeah, exactly.
Don't steal from our Airbnb. You can just buy it.
Steal, but you can come to our store and have your own piece of it.
So then how did you kind of get the community involved in and aware of this new kind of space that they can come to?
Sure. So Kristin Hoopman and her husband Eric are really well involved in the Oshkosh community. They own some other properties and businesses throughout Oshkosh, and just have a great support system. So we started spreading the word about Elsewhere through social media, primarily Instagram and Facebook, just kind of hyping up downtown Oshkosh, letting them know, hey, we're coming, this is what we're offering, we have a market, we have some really beautiful aesthetics, beautiful flowers, beautiful ceramics, and hey, we're gonna have some awesome coffee too. So we kind of started hyping before we even opened. And we do a lot with downtown Oshkosh and the bid program just to help kind of further develop the downtown Oshkosh community.
Well, and to kind of speak to that, that's something that's a huge commitment, not only to Kristin, the owner of Elsewhere and Elsewhere Collection, but just the Hoopman family in general, and of course us who went to school here in Oshkosh and have yet to leave and have no real plans of ever doing so. It's something that's been a huge commitment for all of us that we feel really proud of. And kind of to segue into our connection to UWO, part of that has been building connections even with the school. One of our kind of proudest things that we offer at Elsewhere are ceramics that are made by students from UWO. So for us, before we even kind of got super involved and open into the public, we wanted to make sure that some of the offerings that we have at our store are things that, are local and are, part of the Oshkosh area.
Well, I even saw that you had Clash in Elsewhere.
Yes.
And took a picture and put it on social media for like student discounts, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
So I think that's a good thing to touch on too, is that, you guys are in the community, the community, and then you go out and you connect with it. And I think that, kind of adds to your benefit. So how successful has your efforts been in promoting on social media?
I think it's been awesome. We have a lot of great feedback from UWO students to parents that live in Oshkosh, families, everyone's just super stoked about the space. It really is a lovely place to be, and just walking in, you feel kind of elsewhere. But I think the amount of feedback, comments, direct messages, and just interaction on social has been pretty huge for us before we even opened the doors.
Yeah, and I wish I had prepared her TikTok handle ahead of time, but there was a TikTok that went viral that showcased Elsewhere Market and Coffee House, and we had a lot of people come in saying,
I saw you on TikTok.
Yes, absolutely. So I apologize that I don't remember what that is, but huge thank you to the person who posted that.
Yeah.
Would you ever make TikTok part of your strategy then for promotion?
Yeah,
I think
we've
so.
considered it. I think at this time we just don't have the time
Or the
capacity,
Yeah.
For sure.
but absolutely
Personally,
see the
zero
benefit.
know-how. I'm just a TikTok consumer. I'm not a TikTok maker
Same.
whatsoever. So something I would love to learn, because I know so much of social and the way that people are consuming social media now has moved to video. So that would be something that we've dabbled in, like Reels, and we work with a really amazing person in marketing. Her name is Tanya Harrison. She does a lot for us on the marketing side of things, and she does a lot of our Reels and a lot of our Instagram posts as well. So
Nice.
We like to dabble.
Just dabble in it a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think you guys especially have a great brand on social media as well. It's very aesthetic. Could you guys describe to me what that kind of aesthetic and what you're trying to bring across in your branding?
Sure. I think Chris can talk a little bit more about that.
I wouldn't be able to give you a very specific name of what type of aesthetic or brand it is. We just kind of, thanks to, again, Kristin Hoopman's sort of design style and the way that we've moved towards incorporating all of the properties, they all have their own personalities. And I think it was important for us to find some sort of unifying thing when we were creating the Elsewhere Market and Coffee House. So that way it didn't feel like the properties were disjointed. I think that there's a sort of thread that runs through all of the properties that then is reflected in Elsewhere. I guess renaming it the collection, originally it was just Elsewhere.
Elsewhere.
Yeah, and so naming it the Elsewhere collection, I think, allowed us to really marry all of the properties together and then make the market and the coffee house just another part of that. So I guess in terms of that, we really just want it to feel warm and inviting, and kind of our little, nod to Elsewhere is that we want you to feel like you're elsewhere. We want you to feel like you're retreating somewhere special. And whether it's a rustic cabin, something that's a little bit, while it's still a luxury experience to some extent, it's still we have a literal log cabin that we rent out. So even while you're there, we still want it to feel very warm and cozy and inviting. And
Definitely.
I think that's the aesthetic.
Absolutely. Definitely like luxurious and nice and carefree, but also still very attainable.
Yeah.
Inviting.
For sure. I mean, I walked in there, I think it was about last weekend. It was right before Mother's Day. I was like, okay, I need to get some last minute Mother's Day gifts for my mom. And I met one of my friends in there. She's like, oh, hey, Andrew, what's up? And she's like, I'm like, yeah, like, isn't this place so great? What do you think? And she was like, I love it here. She's like, this is exactly where I want to be. So that kind of goes with this. What's kind of your ideal target customer that you try to bring into the coffee shop?
I think it's honestly just everyone. I mean, we want anyone from students that are studying, meeting up to do a quick study group, to grab coffee and then, a card for their friend, to parents with young kids wanting to get like a really nice gift for a baby shower, or new brides and their bridesmaids looking for a nice gift. We really love Oshkosh and everyone in it, and there really is a space for everyone that comes in to enjoy the space. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think we just want to create, not only in the products that we offer, but the environment itself is just, not to keep repeating myself with inviting, but just an inviting space that does feel like you can bring anyone there. And then in terms of what we offer, definitely a little something for everyone. Mm-hmm. You can make a very luxurious gift basket for someone, or you can grab a quick card or a little piece of jewelry and, a piece of chocolate, something small if you are more in that.
Something to diversify between all types of people that walk in.
The building is so gorgeous, and it wasn't utilized, the first floor, especially for the last several years. So we really just want people to enjoy the space, and
especially now that it's warmer too. We just opened up our new back patio area as well. We've been really trying to, one of the goals too, I know you mentioned the bid, is they're trying to work on beautifying downtown Oshkosh, and I think part of what was neglected about our building was our back patio area. So now that it's nicer, certainly not sure if it's picking up here today. It's currently raining.
Not today, it's raining outside.
Yep, exactly. But, I think just making it a space where you can, of course, be cozy inside on our kind of, I think they're a little bit iconic now, orange couches, or sit outside.
Yes.
Yeah, or sit outside.
We'll pop a picture of that on the screen here for you. But
or sit outside in our new back patio with pretty flowers and umbrellas.
Smells lavender.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's switch gears a little bit, okay, because you guys manage everything there. So what is something that you thought was very easy when you started managing the new space that you guys have?
I think I don't know.
I think when
it's a hard question.
Well, I think when you think like you're managing a retail store, you think, oh, it's going to be a slow-paced, cozy little day. and, you know, you're going to just sit there sipping your coffee and, you know, just, you know, greet your customers as they come in. That's not the name of the game for anything elsewhere related. We are a fast-paced, though small business, we are a fast-paced business. We're constantly growing. We're constantly adding new projects and, you know, products to the store. We're, you know, adding new properties and looking to grow the collection as a whole. So I think for us, you know, we both come from a marketing background, so we knew fast-paced, and that's in our blood anyway. But then we kind of the pandemic hit, so certainly both of us had to kind of reshape the way that we did our work in our business. And then you worked in retail again. And then I think trying to reshape our mindset going into this, we thought, okay, maybe we can have a little bit of a slow pace. There's certainly those days, but it's fast paced. We're constantly growing, and I think that was something that was an adjustment for all of us coming out of what was isolation for everyone.
That's the fun part, right? Doesn't that make that fun, though?
Absolutely. And I think because we had the building solidified, we knew where the market and coffee house were going to be, but we didn't realize how much actual physical work we would be doing to get it up to how we wanted it to look. So before the market and coffee house opened, we were there day and night, painting, drilling, cutting boards. Like, we did a lot of work. Although the building itself is gorgeous, ready to go, we wanted to have a specific aesthetic. So we put a lot of heart and soul into making it look the way that it does.
Well, and apart from looks as well, we didn't want to present something that wasn't going to be, we didn't want to present products that weren't nice for the community. And then from the coffee house side, a lot of love research training has gone into the coffee house side. I can't take any credit for anything coffee related. That is definitely Jessie's baby. But she has worked tirelessly with a handful of consultants, one of whom actually we were able to bring in from Savannah, from the Collins Quarter, which is a coffee shop and restaurant that we love, and they're really good friends of the Hoopmans. But Ryan was instrumental in training our baristas and Jessie. Absolutely. And helping us create coffee that was a little bit different and was up to the caliber and standard that we're trying to reach. We're certainly not always there. We're still new and we're still fresh and we're still learning things, but we didn't want to just present something. And I think that was one of the challenges that we were like, we did not realize how much went into it. We have so much respect for coffee shops and baristas and cafes that put a lot of work and the artistry behind coffee, not just the latte art, the literal science behind creating coffee, because there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jessie can speak to that too, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think also just in that regard, we thought, get some coffee, grind it up, make a latte.
You know, in the grand scheme of things, what it seems like.
Yeah. And it does really come down to that. But we wanted to make the best cup of coffee that we are able to, which, again, we're still working on some of that process and what that looks like. But we know we have the bones of what that is and the processes that are needed to make consistently good tasting coffee and lattes. But it was definitely a learning curve.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I mean, I got to say, I did stop in and grab like some Vietnamese coffee the other day, and it was fantastic. So I think you guys were on the right track.
Good.
I think you guys were on a good track. So let's flip this around. What was kind of a large hill that you had to climb post-pandemic, bringing, you know, the whole coffee shop and the market to life?
Yeah, I think, you know, life is different now post-pandemic, and people are still, you know, in that mindset of the pandemic because we're still in the middle of it. So starting a business kind of in the middle of it was a big feat that we had to dive into. So down to, you know, health regulations, hiring new people, it's all been a challenge and a huge learning curve for myself and the team in general. We haven't owned any restaurants or managed restaurants up until this point, let alone, you know, a market. So understanding what we are allowed to sell and how we sell it and how we market it and how we advertise it and how we serve it was something we had to learn from ground zero. So even down to employees, we thought we would just staff the market, staff the coffee house, but employment is different now. People are not necessarily working or looking for as much part-time work, or maybe just part-time work. So the consistency with folks has been just a different experience altogether. And it's been a learning curve for me, just trying to work around people's schedules and backgrounds, experience, that sort of thing. We have a really great crew of people that are working there. But we kind of have to pivot as their lives pivot too. And I think that's one thing we learned during COVID and the pandemic is that we just got to make it work. We'll figure it out.
Everybody wants to work from home.
Yep, that was a part of that.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have two more things for you. Okay, so I want to, we were mentioning before that we started recording, you guys are fully woman-owned.
Yes.
Can you tell me about the importance of that?
Yeah. I just think it's badass. I don't know if I can say that or not.
Badass.
But I have never worked for a company that was solely women-owned. And between Kristin Hoopman, our owner, and Kristin Kane and myself, we're really doing it. We're doing all of it. We're hiring the people. We're training the people. We're picking out the products. We're researching. We're marketing. And I just think it's awesome. I think it's worth noting that we can do this, and we're super competent people that, I don't know, I think it's worth mentioning, and we're really proud of it.
Yeah. I mean, I sometimes don't think it sinks in that that's happening. I think that a lot of this all stemmed from sort of a what if and a dream, and the fact that it is actually happening and that we made it happen.
Yeah.
The three of us.
And
doing it well too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Extremely well.
And Kristin started the Gibson first, and it was kind of there that we're like, okay, they're doing it. We have this in
really
place.
happening.
This is happening. We're running an event space, a gorgeous event space, and we could do something similar next door, but a little bit different. So having the Gibson right next door too has been a big help from a marketing perspective. We work together. We often correlate events and just talk each other up. So tonight's the wine down at the Gibson. The market will be open for people that are attending the wine down for them to privately shop as well.
Oh, so just walk right over.
Yep, walk right over.
Absolutely.
Which, if you don't know, the Gibson is another aspect of the business that is a social club and a venue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so then we'll just close this out here with any advice that you would give to any other small business owners that you would, or managers that you want to share with our audience.
I would say just do research, right? So look into what it is you're going to be offering and selling. Just take some time to really understand your product, know where it's coming from, and know your audience, right? Like, you can sell anything on a whim, but I think the more you know about it, the more passionate you are about it, the more real it is, and the more people are interested in coming back and wanting to be a part of it. So as much research as you can do can only be helpful, but at the same time, like, try to have fun with it too.
Yeah, I mean, and I think something that is advice I need to give myself too, and probably for both of us, is to honestly just do it, because I think that you're talking about hills to climb and challenges, something that we constantly do, or always thinking about the what ifs and asking questions and hypotheticals, but something that Kristin Hoopman, the owner of Elsewhere Collection, is really good at is just kind of taking risks and going for it, and just telling us, we're going to figure it out. And I think that is something that I've never been good at. It's something that I'm learning how to do, and I'm learning that it actually does work and pay off in most instances. So when you can kind of invest in a goal and a dream and be excited about something, and your community sees that you're excited about it, oftentimes that's going to follow, and you just sometimes have to do it.
Yeah, set some standards.
Making a mental note to remind myself to do that.
Put the base in there, put the bones in, and then do it.
And
have some intention, but
also
absolutely
take some risks. Be intentional with it for sure, and be mindful and thoughtful about what you're presenting and what you're, bringing to the community, of course, but but also just go for it.
Yeah.
You hear that? Okay, research intent, go for it.
Yeah.
We've talked about that so many times on this podcast so far, and now we have an example of it right here, and of it going really well as well. So thank you, Jessie and Kristin. I really appreciate it coming on today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If they want to find out anything about your business and everything, where can they find you?
Yeah, so the Elsewhere Market and Coffee House on Instagram,
So we're Elsewhere Market on Instagram, and then for the Elsewhere Collection properties, we're at theelsewherecollection.com.
All right. Fantastic, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And there we go. That's Jessie and Kristin, managers of the Elsewhere Collection and the Elsewhere Market and Coffee House right here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. If you want to check them out, their links and resources are down in the video description and show notes of the podcast. And also, if you're down there on the YouTube video, let us know what you took away from the conversation. Are you a small business owner doing the same exact thing? Let us know down there, or reach out to us on social media at viral_solutions on Instagram. Lastly, if you're a business owner looking to get a little help with your marketing, we're here for you. Go to viralsolutions.net, click the free marketing audit button at the top for a free 50-point marketing audit of your entire business. Or click the little blue chat bubble at the bottom of the page if you have any questions about marketing whatsoever. A member of our team will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for joining us on the Obsessed Marketer and the Small Business Spotlight. I'm Andrew Hayes, and we'll see you next week. The Obsessed Marketer is a production of Viral Solutions and produced by Andrew Hayes, Holland Berkey, and Joel Schmitz. Give us a rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to let us know what you think. And send any topic suggestions to viralsolutions.net. Just click the blue chat bubble at the bottom of the page. Visit viralsolutions.net for more information on how to strategize, execute, and grow your business. And subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen.